What's going on, everybody? It's T Reaper, and I'm back. Welcome back, everybody, both old fans and new of this channel. I appreciate the patience, and today we are going to talk about many things. I'm going to tell you my true opinion of Kingdom Hearts 3, now that I've waited long enough to ease everybody into, the Kingdom Hearts factor, and I can finally say my piece. I'm going to talk about this wonderful Crackdown 3 drama that we are totally dealing with. Shout out to everybody involved and having fun with myself and everybody, around, the Twitter fire every second of every day, guys. I appreciate everybody. Shout out to you guys. You guys are awesome. And then we're also gonna talk lastly about my, the whole new concept of preference. I love this argument. Every year we have this argument. So, alright, let's get to the Kingdom Hearts, shall we? Okay, so going into Kingdom Hearts 3, it's the first time it's ever been on Xbox. And this wonderful brand, Kingdom Hearts, the reason that probably I see everybody's Facebook group saying, what is Kingdom Hearts? Kingdom Hearts is a child's game. I don't remember this ever being a thing. And I'm like, no. And the reason that probably most of you do not remember this ever being a thing is because it was never on Xbox. So I'm just going to shoot you right in the face right there and say that is checkmate. That's the reason why. Please get over it. And then those who have been with this series from the very beginning know that it was first on PS2, and Kingdom Hearts 1, 2 were the most famous ones, and then we had the spin-offs that turned into actual lore that went onto the DS famous Uprising and Rebirth, if all you OGs remember that. And then, then it kind of settled into, the remixes on PS4. They were also on PS3. And, over the years, so, on each system, everything except Xbox, Kingdom Hearts was available to play. So, unless you are, a teenager that is on Facebook and is asking what this is, I don't really believe that you didn't have the opportunity to play it or the option. You probably just didn't prefer that platform that it was on. Therefore, you just did not play it. Therefore, the end. But I actually am coming at this from someone that grew up on Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2. And the reason why I love this brand is this is the brand that encouraged me to try PlayStation for the first time. And I always remember back in OG Xbox era, back when Halo CE and Halo 2 were a thing, you had the opposite side of PlayStation had Jak and Daxter and Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was the big, spin around in my, neighborhood. Now that I'm older, I understand, why that was, and I'll get into that later in a matter of preference. But we'll just say from Kingdom Hearts 3, I love what they did to it, the closure to this chapter, and all in all, for all those who say Kingdom Hearts is for children, the deeper story that this tells, and please keep in mind that this story that Kingdom Hearts 3 in particular tells is tied to the lore spanning the whole series backdrop. So everything from the very beginning to now is implied into Kingdom Hearts 3. Therefore, the only ones that will understand it are the ones that have played the entire series thus far. If you have never played a Kingdom Hearts up to this point and just want to pop in 3 because it looks like a cool Xbox game, I mean, you might get the gist of it, but you won't really fully heartfully understand the story as a gamer unless you've experienced all those games, in sequence leading up to what you just did in Kingdom Hearts 3. I found the combat from all the way from PS2 era to Xbox, transferred rather well. I didn't really have an issue with it. Overall, the only issue I had was the camera controls and the gummy ship controls. I feel the gummy ship old method was better, but that's just me. I didn't really like that once you got out of the gummy ship, you legitly couldn't, the traversal was a pain. And sometimes I had to backtrack from what I was doing to get to the right planet, which sometimes caused me to die. And it caused me to die, for those who were wondering, because my gummy ship was level 1 all the way up to almost till I reached the ending, and to reach the ending section of the gummy planet galaxy, I had to upgrade my ship to get past it. So that was the only way I was getting past it. But once I did, I was like, oh, I'm past it. I can beat the game, no problem. And everybody was like wondering, shout outs to everybody on Instagram too, because everybody was like, yo, you beat it already, how'd you do that? And I'm like, well, I know Kingdom Hearts, so it's not that really it's not really a hard thing for me to do, especially if I knew the formula of what I was dealing with. Thankfully, I'm happy that most of the formula I agreed with, and I liked the new add-ons to acrobatics and stuff like that. Some of them were hard to control, though. I'll give it that. At least for me, it was. That's why most teleportations were like kind of tricky at first. If anybody was watching me stream the first time, because I didn't understand the acrobatics at first. Now I can do that Xehanort battle in 10 minutes flat, and I'm just happy. It's just by my grind every day now. I'll grind it once a day, just in remembrance to how I used to do Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Xemnas battle. Oh, that was so much fun. But overall, how the story transfers in Closure, I enjoyed it. I know some people, have difference of opinion, but even the person, like one of my OG friends from back in the day that shares, the history of gaming with me for that long, says, he enjoyed it, but he would have changed some things. So, I'm like, he did, agree that they did a good job, but, more could have been done, and I agree. But, I'm happy with the closure that I have, because now I can just move on. And overall, Sora, Donald, Goofy, it brings back that child nostalgia, especially when you're on that Toy Story level. Oh my god, I could not get off that planet for a while. I was stuck there. I was like, yo, you got a friend in me in the background, just annoy the living crap out of me. It was fun, and don't get me wrong, fun, but, the nostalgia just drive me insane. I'm like, yo, this is not 1997 no more, people. But it's actually kind of funny. But it's, it's whatever. But Kingdom Hearts 3 is worth it for all those who wish to, invest in it. Especially you OG lovers who, especially if you're like me, that, the only reason, you were an Xbox person, but the only reason you played Kingdom Hearts was because your friend had a PS2, or, a family member had a PS2, or so on and so forth. So, that's the only reason I got to play, this brand when I was originally tied to Xbox. So that was kind of cool, and it opened my eyes up to Jak and Daxter and, God of War and all those fun jazz. But now that I'm older, I do understand the difference between a good and bad game, Pony. So, if you are hyping up your wonderful God of War on Twitter, I don't care, because it kind of disappointed me in one factor, and it was a ripoff of something that I don't agree with. But that's just me. Excuse me. But overall, you legitly gotta learn to, I just say, learn to get along. And then the Crackdown 3, moving on to second subject. Crackdown 3, I played the beta test. I played with Snaps and Xbox 448. He got to play with K Mega. I personally understand your issue that the not being able to play with friends at launch. I understand your pain, but as this beta clearly demonstrates, I can do just that. So the question is how will this be implemented after launch, and how will this actually affect core gameplay? Now, I don't mind going into Xbox Live solo back in, because back in the day, if everybody really remembers, that was when online gaming first was a thing. Yeah, that was kind of the core value. It's like there was no party invented. You just met with randoms, and that's originally why the party system was invented, or chat boxes was invented, because people wanted to socialize with people they met online, and thus, the culture was created and then, perfected with Xbox Live. But I find that, it just depends on your preference. So, like, if what you find in Crackdown 3 is not enjoyable to you as a gamer, then it's not enjoyable to you as a gamer. The end. And I can't convince you otherwise. And neither can anybody else on Twitter. So everybody battling, trying to convince Crackdown 3 is the bomb and stuff, okay, that's cool that you feel that way. I don't necessarily have to agree with you, but I can respect that you feel that way. But at the same time, I had fun on the Crackdown 3 beta, so I don't understand what everybody is complaining about. It's like, the whole core concept of that multiplayer was it going to be fun? Was it going to be enjoyable? Could I see myself grinding it every single day? The answer to that question is yes, if it stays that way. if traditional parties are not implemented, that don't really bother me, because you know what you just do? You just time the search button correctly. And that in that beta, that's exactly what we did. We just timed it correctly. So it proves it does connect you to your friends. If you are on the same wavelength and stuff, it does do it. And that's kind of the thing that's kind of making me smile when everybody's complaining about it. I'm like, I was still able to do it. I don't know what you all are complaining about, but that's just me. And then, on to the final thing that I was going to talk about today was the matter of preference. Now, preference, I feel, is what guides our guiding hand of being a gamer, gaming culture, gaming historian, all those things that have to do with gaming as a whole, whether we know a whole lot or just a little. It depends on how long we've been in this wonderful game that we call gaming, and how long have we been at it. How long, how many games have we gone through? How many cartridges have we seen? How many discs have we gone through? How many digitals have we purchased? And it just gets down to the fact that, if you don't agree with how we like to play our games, okay, that sounds like a you problem. That doesn't sound like we Xbox people are evil because we all like Crackdown and we all like Halo and we all like Gears and we all like Forza and that's all we talk about. God bless America, please shut the fuck up. No. No. That's not how it works. I'm sorry. No. If we like the way we like the games that we like to play, then that's our preference, people. Okay? Just like if you like to play Indiana Jones copyright Uncharted all day, I can't stop you. I personally don't really necessarily agree with you, but I'm not gonna say, yo, don't go bother Nathan Drake for 6.5 hours a day. I'm not really gonna bother that because as per me as a personal actual person, I can respect that as a gaming preference. That's your preference, so I'm not gonna care. But at the same time, you can still act civil and not not act like what we're suggesting to you is not entirely impossible. So, alright, I'll give, a broader reference of what I'm talking about. Okay, so this guy on Twitter, shout out to you, man. I'm not gonna look at my phone right now as I'm recording this, so I'm just gonna call you Y. Mr. Y, because that's all I see when he pop up on my screen is Y, because I never read the full title. I see the beginning of the letter, I'm like, I'm done. But anyway, Y was, boasting about PlayStation and Switch, while, us, shout out to New Legal and, Hebot and everybody who's, bouncing off these Twitter feeds, and Don, too, is, he's trying to argue that, he can't afford both hardware and software. He must pick software. Now, my argument is that as a gamer, and as you develop as a gamer in age, you learn to decide what you like in gaming and what attracts you to it. What is your preference in gaming style? Is it the old RTSs of old? Is it the old arcade ping pong, style of gaming that we see from wonderful Jack Black? Is it the moderate, old school 360 titles that we see other people wonderful streaming every day with backwards compatibility? Is it the current generation of gaming that everybody is addicted to, like myself, that all we do is play COD, Anthem, Division 2, and all the new titles that bounce off year from year? Are we multicultural, so we'll play anything that attracts us, both new and old? Are we universal, so as long as it, attracts us, we automatically press yes, but we're going to play it and we're going to buy it, and if it's worth our investment, we invest time into said product. Now, we're not here to say that, you can't like what you like, but you can't really stop us from liking or changing our mind, especially if after, 2 days of the same argument, you keep getting hit into stalemates over and over and over and over again. Because what will happen is we kind of learn the roundabouts of the wonderful ponies that go into our threads, and we kind of learn how to decapitate them slowly over time. And any pony on the web will watch this video and be like, yeah, he's telling the truth, he does actually know how to do that. And I do, but most of the time I'm kind to one another, because like I said, you don't try to hit me, I don't try to actually hit you. So, but if I can morally disagree with you, that's what I'm going to do. So, if I can be like, well, you make a good point, but the counter to this is this, and then around and around and around and around we go. And we are enjoying ourselves doing it. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually quite fun, and we're enjoying ourselves. We're having fun, people. It's called community. It's we have disagreements with one another. It's what differs us from one another. Now, then you get into the whole console war factor that really is like, if you like PlayStation, then and this is coming from a bot, then I can't coexist with you. And I always found that ethic kind of annoying because I don't really mind ponies on like a personal level. Because at the end of the day, they're just another person. They just have a different gaming taste than you, and gaming is multicultural, so it involves everything. So, just because they don't game the same way as you doesn't necessarily make them not a gamer. It just differs on what type and what preference of games they are attracted to. Are they attracted to what is on wonderful Sony brand, or Xbox brand, or Switch brand, or PC brand, or mobile? So it just depends on what they are attracted to. Now, the stupid ponies are the fun ones, because they're the ones that think, God of War is the best game ever. Praise Valhalla, and and then us smart ones will be like, he's gonna actually die, right? It's just like, yeah. Again, that's one reason that you can't really convince a true fanboy of anything, because they can't see the light of day in the correction of what you're trying to preach to them. So what ends up happening is they end up becoming more and more in tune with their lie, to which case they just can't believe you no more. And so no matter what kind of facts you put in front of them people, they just don't listen to you, period. And that's kind of the fun thing about it. But overall, I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing that, our preferences differs from each other. Because sometimes that makes us multicultural. It helps us with different viewpoints in this culture, You have the companies, that run this culture, like livestock, but they don't really understand the culture that they're doing it to, which is, the second problem that you have in this culture right now is you have companies catering to cultures that are long gone. They're dead. And the problem is that's good for us OG people that still want to play those titles and everything. That's good. That's good in giving the vet fans what they want. That's a positive thing. But overall, that's not what's going to make you the most money, because the most money is basically what the trend is basically giving you. Right now, the trend right now is freaking Apex Legends and BR up the ass. So, logic would follow that you would try to make something at least equivalent to that, or what you could do is you could remind everybody why, old school Xbox Live is so much fun, and take it away from this, generic trend that keeps trying to outdo itself over the generations and over the generations and over the generations over again. Try to break the cycle, as it were. But, you're doing it in such a way that is kind of confusing and is also very, very, very hard to understand to the people that weren't grown up in that, software era. So those casuals are the ones I'm talking about. The ones that don't read too much into things, and they just care about, they just walk into GameStop or, at Best Buy and just look on the shelves and see what's new out there. They don't care. They don't delve too much into it. And that's kind of your average consumer, the ones that buy it for Christmas gifts. And the kids are usually the smart ones that are paying attention to what you're doing. So the kids are the ones learning from you. It's not really the adults. However, the adults do find education and, how you try to master these trends over and over again, but fail miserably at doing so. And I feel the golden age, which is what everybody loves to refer to, and topics like this are discussed, the golden age of Xbox Live was something like no other. And I agree full-heartedly with you. But the problem is that golden age of Xbox Live user, they're gone. They're gone, people. Microsoft, please listen to me. They're gone. They're completely gone. Now, the ones that still exist from that era are probably, ones like myself, who legitimately have no life, work, 40 hours a day max, don't have children, don't have wives, and legitimately are addicted to their console so much that they don't leave it. Those are the elites that basically don't leave your console. It's good to cater to elites, or also known as vets, But elites mean many things, so please do not misquote me. The casual consumer has moved on. That's not what the base trend is basically chasing. What you're supposed to be chasing, Microsoft, and that's why you keep failing. You keep failing because you keep trying to halfway go into a trend, but it doesn't fall through. And I would argue that more experienced multi-plat AA studios, if you buy them, would probably give you a better consumption and a better creation than what you have now. But that's just a suggestion. But you're not trying to do that. You're trying to cater to casuals, vets. You're trying to cater to everyone is your promise. And that's basically, that's the slogan of Microsoft. And whereas I agree wholeheartedly with you, you have to chase both at the same time, which means if you want to if you want to chase vets, casuals, and the whole damn market all in the one damn cycle, you gotta give each section what they want. Now, what you're doing is you're doing exactly what the vets want you to do, but the casual consumer is not impressed. And the casual consumer, for the most part, the one that whips out their wallets every spending season imaginable, are the ones that you would want to cater the brand most to. But at the same time, you would argue that they've impressed the brand in many other different ways, which is very true. The adaptive controller is nothing to smirk at. It's very impressive. It's very impressive what they've managed to do, both for healthcare and technology advancement. That's impressive. I'll give them that. They made strides this gen that maybe weren't gaming oriented related, but it was gaming aspect related. It was the human, evolution related. So they did do something that evolved their brand yet again. And I think that's kind of Sony's problem, if you ask me, is they have yet to do something that defines their rebirth or evolution. Because, most people would be right that, what's higher than 4K except 8K or higher frame rates, PC culture. But the thing that I think Sony is struggling with is they're kind of screwed. And they don't know exactly what they're doing right now, to be perfectly honest, and that's kind of the amusing part. But we'll see. Maybe they will bend the knee. Sony, that's exactly what I advise you to do. I advise you to bend the knee. Do it. But that's just what I think should happen, especially if the financial officer from Sony thinks that at Wall Street. If that appears on Wall Street, people, you're gonna have a problem. But hey, sucks, don't it? But that's all. I've carried long enough. Thank you for everybody who's watched to the end of this video. I deeply appreciate it. I am back. I am swinging. I am moving. For those who are acquainted to me on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook alike, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate listening to what I have to say. You don't have to agree with me. You can, you can agree to disagree, or you can even hit the thumbs down if you just totally disagree with me. But this is kind of how I feel, and overall, the whole Crackdown 3, drama, it was fun to me, and I've never actually played a Crackdown game. So, you impressed a new consumer, and that's kind of something. So I would say that's kind of a brilliant something, other than not giving your old fans what you want, because you want the brand to what? Endure. And the only way it endures is if it picks up a new legion, a new generation of fans. And that's kind of where I think everybody's kind of stuck, is they don't know what the new generation of fans wants. And you can only give the consumer the right product and the successful product if you give them what they want to spend their money on. So overall, it all comes down to preference. If you do not meet the preference of the consumer, logic follows that your product will not sell. If it does not sell, then it does not add revenue, which means you go broke. Now, if you use the same amount of revenue to make said product as it is to sell, so if you how you make the product, how much you spend to make it is how much you get back. In the real world, legitimately, that means you gain zero. Just saying. If you don't gain above average what it is to make it, you don't gain anything from it. Therefore, you do not prosper. And that's where Microsoft kind of got Sony beat. They got stuff that prospers for them for eons to come. And Sony kind of don't. They don't have that. They don't have that niche, and that's kind of what's basically screwing them. If the cloud is as successful as they claim it is proven to be. Now, when I played that tech demo and I saw that destruction of the cloud, I thought it was pretty impressive. You know, could they have done more with it? Sure, but did it do exactly what they said it was going to do? Yep. Yeah, it did. It did. But, you know, baby steps, everybody. Got to start from the bottom and build your way up. But anyway, this is Reaper. I hope you guys all enjoyed this wonderful video. I have not done one of these long videos in a really long time. So, thank you so much. Hit that like button. Follow me on Twitter. And if you have Instagram, you can also add me there. This is Reaper. And thanks so much for the new following. Thanks so much for everybody on Twitter, Instagram. Peace out. I'm out.